Welcome and welcome back, Changemakers. If you are new to the channel, my name is Kira Siva. I am a spiritual mentor and healer, and today your spirit guides have a message for you, and we are going to look at the different piles and find out what that is. Before we jump into the piles, just know that I have opened up personal readings. So if you want to get personalized attention, you have a specific question, or you just want to deep dive into specific areas of your life, you can find the link in the description box. I will never reach out to you for that, but I would love to hear from you. I love doing readings for people, and I am so grateful to everyone who has already gotten a reading and who has, contacted me about that. And also thank you so much to everybody who has been so sweet in the comments and liking the videos and subscribing. It helps the channel grow like you wouldn't believe, and I so appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and hop in, connect with your intuition. And if you wind up needing more time, just pause the video. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, again, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. All right, let's jump into pile number 1. Pile number 1. Okay, let's dive into this. First, I just want to admire the beautiful colors down here. They are so green and teal and beautiful. They match so perfectly, and it always feels like the message will be so cohesive when I see the color pattern. So maybe greens, teals, this pastel, teal, yellow, what is it? Sort of like a tan, red, brown color might be good for you for color therapy. So check that out if that resonates with you. Okay, let's dive in. So your spirit guides have a message for you, and their message for you is about the element of fire. There is a lot of fire going on in your life. Fire is transformation. Fire allows us to take things from the material realm and share them with the divine. Fire is our anger, our passion, our direction and focus. And your spirit guides are really pointing to you going through a very big transformation process. So up here, I don't know fully how to say her name, but Akalanda, the goddess of never not broken. I see the fire element within this so strongly. She is being destroyed and rebirthed at the same time. She is coming apart and coming together all in one. It's like if you were to break apart, but what was underneath of you was the radiant, shining light of your soul. So what your spirit guides are really sharing is that you are in a very big and very deep transformation process. You have had to deal with conflict. You have had to really find just your will to live, the fire to get you through challenges, obstacles, to break through limiting beliefs. And this whole time, you got the Empress and the Emperor card right next to each other. So this tells me that you have taken this fire of transformation, set your eyes on a goal, and you are accomplishing it. That is actually what is happening. So you know how I just said, it's like she is breaking apart and coming apart and coming together at the same time. So if she's breaking apart, there's underneath of that the next radiant, fully embodied self. And that's you. That's what you are doing on a subconscious level, on an energetic level, on a vibrational level, and those ripple effects are shining out into your life. So maybe you've had to really learn how to deal with conflict and disappointment and, confronting people, setting boundaries, cutting people out. And along with that, you're like in such a multi-dimensional, multifaceted process. Wow. And you're doing it because you're using that passion, the passion for wanting a better life, the passion for wanting to reach your goals, the passion for wanting to feel whole and healed, and that you are aligned with spirit and your life purpose. So a lot of the way that you're doing this, because we have like fire and then this beautiful water and this happy little family action going over here, which also tells me that your empowered masculine and empowered feminine energies are very balanced in your system. So you have done the hard work. You have birthed a new you, right? And a lot of this you've found by really finding your center and your peace. I think a lot of times when we connect with things like rage and anger and those really strong feelings that we're often told we shouldn't have and that we can't have too much of because somebody will get hurt, when you really make friends with your rage, when you really make friends with your anger, you get the clarity, you get the energy and the motivation, and you unlock a massive amount of energy and power by acknowledging that. And what you learn from those kind of really big, really strong and fierce emotions is how to use your voice, is how to stand up for yourself, is not being a doormat for people to walk over, is, having the clarity of saying, I am done with this issue in my life and never again, and moving forward. And that's what your spirit guides are sharing with you, is that you've been doing this huge process. So freaking congratulations. The next step, right? Because this radiant soul light is just bursting out of you. That's like what they're showing me, is just like the old version of you just being obliterated with the sun, the radiant sunlight shining from your soul, coming out into your life and touching everything and like beautifying everything, right? That fullness of the emperor and the empress. So your spirit guides say that the next step for you is it's time for you to take leadership. There are powerful changes that are either occurring right now in this moment or on the horizon. And those changes require that you really step up and take the lead. Now it's interesting here because your animal spirit totem cards, a lot of them are like just looking straight at the stag. So in having fire and passion and direction and clarity and focus and a voice and a willingness to stand up for who you are, your spirit guides are pointing to this and saying, this is the next piece for you. So remember that you are a leader. And when you take that leadership, when you step into that position, when you remember the truth of who you are, you have an opportunity to model these really healthy transformations that you've been through. And so they do want you to be able to collaborate. You have some kind of collaboration. Maybe that's with a coworker. Maybe you are on a new business adventure. Maybe you are on a healing journey. It's something, I almost feel like public speaking or something where you are sharing, or like, I always see people standing on stages, but that could be so much, right? Because we have social media, we have live stages, we have just standing up and talking in front of a group of people. There's a lot of ways that can happen, but there's something in your life that you are the leader of, and you need to be able to build a community around you. You need to be able to work with others in order to bring whatever this fiery passion vision that you have to life. So they just wanted to really point that out, that like right now, that next step of, it's like you went through and did all of this big personal growth You got the soul alignment, and now you are stepping out into the regular world as a leader, and you are bringing these gifts. You are bringing the gifts of generosity. Even like this lion spirit to me is just like oozing leadership, is just the strength, the confidence, which I would relate to fire, right? Like you feel so confident in yourself. And so you have this ability to be generous. You have this ability to be a servant leader, right? To really take care of people, to really facilitate things, to show people what your style of leadership is. Hell yeah. Heaven yeah. But they do want you to collaborate and to understand that your life with all of this fire is now about to just like jet rocket fuel, right? Like you are going to go fast. Whatever direction you are going in, you're going to go fast, because that fire in you, that passion, that drive, the confidence, the courage is propelling you forward, which is so cool. I don't know what you're doing. Leave me a comment below if you want to share your story of like what you're up to in your life. This may also be your spiritual growth. I could definitely see you like aiming really high for either peak spiritual experiences, for moments of enlightenment, or maybe permanent enlightenment. You could be just working really hard on having like high vibe life and really bringing your soul essence and your soul energy through. This could you guys could be a really, really super deep spiritual pile. And this could be telling you that you are breaking through, or you have broken through those next layers. And now you're going to be bringing those gifts full force into the world, because we all know that we need it very badly. So pile number 1, this is your message from your spirit guides. You were learning about fire in every angle of the way, and you are masterfully managing it. So congratulations, and this is awesome. And yeah, leave me a little emoji down there and let me know what you're up to, because you're just a really powerful person. You're a really powerful person going through really powerful changes, and we need whatever gifts you have to give to the world. We definitely need them. You are a highly qualified person to be sharing whatever gifts you've got. So pile number 1, if you like this message, please don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, the link is in the description. I'm so grateful to everybody who has gotten those. It helps me out like you wouldn't believe. And until next time, pile number 1, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Pile number 2. Okay, so let's first just appreciate the beautiful colors down here. In the last pile, they also had a really gorgeous color coordination going on. Yours is very dark blue, teal, dark green, and even in this more tan one, there's still these elements of dark blue in here, and it really corresponds really nicely with the Sandpiper Spirit card. So maybe those darker, waterier tones do really well with you. The last pile was very much a fire pile, and this one feels very much a water pile. So I guess we are talking a lot about elements today, because that is the message that your spirit guides have for you. So pile number 2, let's dive in. What your spirit guides are first really just pointing out, now that I mentioned it, is they want to really talk to you about your emotional landscape and the water element in your life. Even over here in the full moon in Scorpio, Scorpio is a sign of deep water. They feel deeply. They're very deeply passionate, deeply devoted. So your spirit guides are really highlighting your deeper, more subconscious, more like they're not talking about your superficial feelings that you might have on the day-to-day grind. They are really talking about your deepest dreams and desires. So they're sharing that, watch your dream landscape, watch your underlying lifestyle habits and patterns, because they are actively working with you on that stuff, and they are sending you messages in your dreams. So you might dream of the ocean, or of large crashing waves, or of swimming on, different planets under the water. They are really highlighting this. So up here in your tarot cards, it really shows that you have been through some really tough stuff. The two tarot cards that just have really popped out are the Six of Swords and the Tower reversed. Both of these have hidden faces. There's like distress going on in these cards. Now the Tower card is in reverse, which means finding, stability, finding your footing and grounding and having something. So your life may have had some emotionally tumultuous things going on, but you have been able to find your grounding and yourself within those times. So your spirit guides are really like, hey, it's been emotionally rough, and here's a big hug and some love, and here's a glass of water, drink more water. And also, this is a time to remember that it's now time to start playing and having fun. So it's like you went through these really emotionally heavy things, and now your spirit guides are like, it is time to bring the spark of life back. It is time to enjoy a refreshing rain that brings vibrancy and nourishment to the landscape. It is time to let go of the old and the negativity, and to really embrace the joyful positivity that comes with cleaning house, right? It's like, that feeling that you have after you cry and you got like all of your emotions out, like all of the stuck emotions that you're just like, oh, and you cried them out, you cried your heart out, and then you're like, oh, I feel so relaxed, I feel so much lighter, I feel so much better. That is what they are talking about. They're like, you have done the processing, and now it's time for you to enjoy the rewards. So a lot of their message for you today is about honoring the water within you, honoring the emotions within you, honoring the physical water within you, and understanding that element and how it's playing in your life. And also like in a fun and joyful way. So it's kind of like these two things that they're showing me. One is like you sitting next to a beautiful like creek with some little waterfalls, and the water's like babbling over it. I keep thinking of like a babbling brook, but you know how the sound of the water goes when it goes over the rocks. And it's just like this really pleasant, it's like wholesome and refreshing. It's purifying. It's like you've purified this element of water within you. And then the other part of this is just you being fun and playful and getting out there and enjoying life. You have two playful cards. It's like so strongly highlighted. You need to laugh. Like you need to go out and whatever you do for fun, go do that for fun. Try something new. Like just take a load off, because you've been through a lot. And part of taking this load off is stepping away from things that feel like work or needing to be productive. And taking this time out, to me, a lot of times I see that as meditation or resting or sleeping, but actually for you, I feel like they're saying like you need to be active, like you need to go outside, go hiking by a waterfall if it's available, go to a lake, go to a pond, like go do something fun in nature next to water that you really enjoy. And the whole point of this is a lot of times when we go through really big, deep things, like I've been through a lot of grief this year, it's like you have to let that go because it's so heavy. And also grief just has its own agenda, but whatever feelings that you've been experiencing, like they've been so intense and so heavy, and so now your reward is to go and do something completely different. Like just find the spark and love in life again, because ultimately you're going in a direction in life, and what you have just went through has been there to help cultivate a different perspective for you. So it's like your spirit guides are telling me that they want to reward you for doing so much hard work. They're like, hey, they're saying, hey kid, you've been through a lot. Let's go play now. Let's get our hands messy. Let's finger paint. Let's go do something really fun and wild that you wouldn't normally do. Because ultimately there are bigger themes going on in your life. There are other areas of your life that you are progressing in. And you are in the right direction with those things. So if you've gone through all of this and you're like, I feel uncertain about the next steps I'm taking, just know your spirit guides are like, you're on the right path. You've had some pretty big perspective shifts, but you are on the right path and you are doing the right thing. We just need you to relax. We just need you to laugh. We just need you to feel the rewards and be able to touch gratitude again. Normally, this is so wild. This is the first time this happened to me. Normally, I really feel connected to the message of the card, the slow and steady wins the race. For the tarot card, I honestly feel like it's there as an invitation to go do play in the water, like snorkeling or paddle boating or something that's fun. Because it doesn't feel like, oh, I see. So what they're showing me is the rejuvenation that happens when you go on vacation, right? You go to Mexico to the beaches, you go to the lakeside, you are restoring your vitality by going on vacation, by taking a break, by staring at the sky with nothing to do for the afternoon. It's that feeling that they want you to have now. It's keep telling me they want to reward you for doing so much hard work. They're we want to give you all of the best because you've just been through really, really tough stuff. So that's super sweet. That's super, super sweet. So if you have been holding on to any kind of negativity at all, if you've been still ruminating over things, your spirit guides are just take a vacation from all of that. You can drop your problems. If you ever want them back, they'll always be there for you. But right now, they want you to just really focus on having a vacation mindset of doing things that feed and nourish your inner child and reconnect you with joy. So whatever that looks like for you, it could look like a lot of things. And then not to worry about the other things that you have been actively working and progressing, because you're on the right track. Those things are good. You literally just need a breather. You just need a breather. You need to drink some water and stare at the sky and just exist for a little while, because you have done a smashing job at whatever you have been through. And big hugs to you, high five to you, and I hope that you get this downtime because you have earned it. You have earned it so dramatically. So pile number 2, this is what your spirit guide's message is for you. If you like this reading, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, the link is in the description. Thank you to everyone for all of your likes and shares and comments and subscribing to the channel and getting personal readings. It is such an amazing community and you guys are incredibly inspiring. So pile number 2, until next time, I hope you have a beautiful and pile number 3. All right, if you chose this pile is very much for my artists, my creatives, and if you were doing personal growth for learning how to share your expression. So if that doesn't feel aligned with you, I would suggest trying one of the other piles, because this is a very artsy pile. This is a very expressive pile. So let's go ahead and dive in with your message from your spirit guides. the reason that this is like such an artsy pile, first let's go ahead and just admire the beautiful colors up here. The soft pink, pastel, orangey, rosy toned colors. The other two piles, they're animal spirit totem cards, were so color coordinated. For you guys, your tarot cards are like super color coordinated, and it's eye candy to look at. I love it. It's so pretty. And that's what I feel like you are working on, something that is expressive, that is artistic. It's like if your expression and art were not only your creative outlets, but your way of doing personal growth. Like the way that you share your art is the evolution of who you are as a person, if that makes sense. So it's like, you know how you have some artists that they find a style, but then that style changes over time as that person changes, and maybe they find new depth with their technique, but they're also able to really deeply connect with their emotion and their, like, the soul essence, their soul space, to really share that out in the world. That's this pile. That's what you guys have been doing, and that's what you have been working on. Now, your spirit guides are showing me some kind of blockage, like maybe it's like writer's block, or you are looking for more inspiration, or even just in your expression, you are getting hung up somewhere along the lines of that expression. So they gave you guidance on how to unblock yourself from not being able to express the things that you want. First, they want the rest of this message to be grounded in you understanding and knowing that what you are doing and what you have been practicing and what you have been, you know, the skill, whatever skill that is that you have been practicing over and over again, or the efforts that you have been putting into your life, have been working. It has actually been genuinely working. So this is basically to help you just like get past that, because it's like the river is already flowing, but then there's like this little, you know, man-made dam. And so we're just going to clean out the dam, but the water is flowing. So they really wanted you to understand you already have the creative ability, you already have the connection, the expression. There's nothing wrong with you, right? It just sometimes the rivers get a little blocked up and we got to dig it out, right? So here's their guidance on how to clear that out. First of all, these two cards, the Groundhog Spirit, Time to Let Go, and Frog Spirit, Clear Out the Clutter. Wow, I can barely talk. That's so funny. You may really feel like there is discombobulation with your ability to express, and the excess in your life, whether that is your mental, like you're overthinking things, whether that is physical, you have too many paints and they're expired, you've got too much cloth hanging out, you've got too much of whatever artistic medium that you use. I feel my artists out there cringing at letting any of their art gear go, but organize. Let old and expired things go. Again, maybe that's your mindset, maybe that's a lifestyle pattern or habit, or maybe it's just literally in your physical space. Look around right now and ask yourself, does my physical space feel clear? Does it feel organized? Do I feel like I understand where all of my important tools and everything is at? If the answer to that is no, then that is your spirit's guide's message, that is where you need to start to get yourself unblocked. I know a lot of artists really thrive in their little self-made chaos environments, and also sometimes it's really important to clear out the energy in those spaces. Every sort of little mess that you have can feel comforting, and also it can kind of just collect the energy. It can just kind of collect things. So if you have any lingering projects, you've got your bags for Goodwill sitting in your garage like me, time to get them out. Time to let it go, time to get them out. So that's one part of the way to unblock. You need to let some things go. Maybe there is a decade-old long project that you have been wanting to do for the last 10 years and you haven't ever done it. It's time to close the chapter on that and let it go. And if it's meant for you, it will come back. If you are meant to create that thing, the inspiration will come back, but you need to let that old version go. Okay, so we have letting some things go. If you've got a big tiff or a beef with somebody, time to let it go. If you've got something else going on, it's just time to let it go. Anything that is lingering, again, it's not you that's sticking the energy, it's the oldness of things that's sticking the energy. So again, like previous resentments or an unfinished project that's been there for a super duper duper long time that you've just never mentally closed the chapter on and got rid of the stuff. That's what they're talking about. I know some of you are cringing out there, but don't shoot the messenger. Just sharing. Okay, the second thing, because all of this stuff is slowing down the flow. It's slowing it down. And trust that you will have, like, they're going to show you. Maybe you're listening to this and like a project falls off the shelf. They're nudging, okay? That's the kind of nudge. Or maybe you're sitting there and you just like, you're looking around and you're like, I know exactly which one my spirit guides are pointing to because it's the project that never gets complete. Okay. The other part that they're sharing is, it's like, this part is personal growth. This is why I was like, this might just be a personal growth pile that's learning how to express this next level of who they are. Because the dolphin spirit and the chameleon spirit are act as if and this and that are true. Those two combined to me are saying that, and like they're even looking at each other. You are expressing the next level of who you are, and you haven't reached the material exterior of it. What I mean by that is maybe you are writing books, but you haven't published your book yet, or like you've published your book, but now you're like figuring out how to market yourself. So you haven't really seen the rewards of being, on the bestsellers list. You haven't seen the rewards of getting large paychecks for it. So what they're telling you is that you can be this next version of yourself and also still be the old version of yourself. You're both. Right? Like you've got one foot in on, I haven't quite made it in the quote unquote real world yet. And the other part of you is, embodying that and experiencing, like envisioning that, right? It's like the beginning, well, not even the beginning of your manifestation. It's the awkward in between when you haven't fully reached your goals, but you have to have faith and believe in them. And so that's what you're thinking about. That's why the chameleon spirit is also here, because it is encouraging you as you are doing that dance back and forth. The moments where you feel super inspired and super clear and you're just like, yes, I'm going to be a global best-selling author. And then, you go home and you're like, check your bank account and you're like, well, and then you look at how much marketing you actually have to do and, you've got to get your book to the editor. And then all the little details start bogging you down. The chameleon spirit is coming to you in that moment, right? And saying, yeah, like, yes. And even a best-selling author has to do all of this too. They've had to also figure this out. They've had to also go through this. So you don't have to surrender that version of you that's already successful. You have to just give yourself enough faith to believe that you, by doing these things, are growing into that person. And that you are, every time you take the next step, you make your TikToks for your book, you write another chapter, that those steps are physically and mentally, emotionally and energetically grounding the dream into your manifest reality. I will say that again. Every time you take those actions that you know you have to do, but that make you feel like you're the old version of yourself, instead of relating to those things as feeling overwhelmed in the old version of yourself, your spirit guide's message to you is to sit in those moments and say, this, me working on my marketing plan, me writing the next chapter, is physically, mentally, energetically, emotionally grounding in the new version of me. And you might have to, might be a little bit of a fight back and forth, but you're strengthening that part of your consciousness, just like you would strengthen a muscle. And so the more you can visualize, okay, this is actually being grounded right now, and I will bring as much of the new version of me energy into this moment as I can. Doesn't need to be perfect. Doesn't need to be whole and complete. It just needs to be good enough for that moment. It just needs to be whatever you can give it in that moment. That will help you tremendously as you go back and forth with this dance, because every time we have new versions of ourselves, it takes a little bit, right? Like, it takes a little while for your mind to catch up, because it doesn't have, I don't know why 10 years keeps coming up for me, but it doesn't have the 10 years of experience being this new version of you. It has 10 years of experience being the old version of you, right? So you have to just keep facing forward and facing forward. Now this is, your goddess card is the Princess of Mercy. I'm going to try her name, and I probably won't say it right, but we're going to try Miao Shan. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. The energy that's coming from this card that your spirit guides want you to understand you are being held in is this really soft, delicate, I don't want to say fragrant, but it's like cherry blossoms. So it's really sweet. It's sweet, it's gentle, it's kind, it's nourishing. So you're sitting there trying to get this next expression of yourself out, and you feel blocked. Remember, there's nothing wrong with the river. We're just taking some of the man-made dam out of there, right? They're saying that, like, this energy of giving, this energy of being merciful with yourself, but it's also like the feeling that they're giving me is they are holding you in really soft, delicate, sweet energy. I don't know why fragrant keeps coming up. Maybe they want you to connect to a fragrance, or maybe they're telling you when you smell an unusual fragrance like roses or lotus or whatever, something sweet, whatever would be unusual in the environment, they are with you. That's them. They're there encouraging you, they're there inspiring you. And actually, maybe you need to use scent as a way of inspiration, like you would like wild orange when you want to feel more alert, like, using essential oils. I probably don't need to explain that to you all, but you know what I mean. Like, use essential oils, use scent, and if you're in, I keep saying an art studio, but if you're in your art studio and you start smelling a sweet, fragrant smell that isn't normal, like for you, then just know that that is your spirit guides being with you. They're like showing me shoving like projects off your shelves and showing up with sweet scents. I don't know. This is wild. You have some really delightful, they're wonderful. They're really helping you through this, but they are really funny. It's because that would scare some people, like you're just trying to do a project and, your books fall off the shelf or something. They also might be pointing to certain things like, hey, this is the project you should complete. That's a decade old. I don't know. This is wild. You have very sweet spirit guides. They are really here with you. They really want you to keep going. They really want to help you keep going. And again, with these two particular blocks, clear out the clutter. Wow. Every time I try to say that, just discombobulated. That would be the word that I feel Time to let go, clear out the clutter. Maybe because you guys don't want to let stuff go. I know how that feels. And then again, act as if you are that new version, and just know every time you do, you are grounding it into the world. Okay, pile number 3. This was kind of long. Thank you so much if you've stayed this far. If you like this reading, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you wouldn't believe, and I'm super appreciative of that. Thank you so much. And if you want to dive deeper into your personal world, I do offer private readings. You can find the link in the description, and thank you to everybody who has already got those. I appreciate you all so much. And until next time, pile number 3, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.